And all that's going to do is create more drama where you said, oh, you said you were going to shut down the company. And now everybody told you to shut down the company. And now you're not shutting down the company. What are you doing? All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Let's party. Guys, what is going on in conservative media online? I woke up this morning, I open up Twitter, and the first thing I see is that my guy, Tim Pool, and you guys know I love Tim Pool, so that's my bias out there right out in the front. So I don't want to hear anything about how I'm so biased. Yes, I am biased. I like Tim Pool. But last night he puts out this poll that says, should I shut down Timcast and retire? Now I said no, but we only got 4 hours left as of the recording, and 55% say yes. That's kind of scary. I mean, regardless of what you think of Tim himself or the show itself, that's a huge operation to just leave to Twitter. Now, often Tim uses Twitter as kind of just a joke thing and trolling and, throwaway stuff. And that's what I assumed that the poll was. And so, I was like, whatever. But then you keep scrolling and you see that just today he put out this long thread. And it does not seem like he is joking around. So let's take a look at what is going on with Tim Pool. He starts out saying, I realized last night there's a radical misalignment between my values and many of the largest culture warriors. The death threats, the revenge porn, etc. People are not willing to stand up for their businesses, schools, to stop kids from getting castrated. But they will break the law because of a single woman they don't like. So I don't know exactly who he's referring to there. He's, in this kind of thing with Jeremy the Quartering and Eliza Bleu, but I don't know exactly what that's about. He goes on to say, we have passive viewers and fighters. The fighters won't fight mostly the machine, but they will fight for drama. The passive viewers agree, but then don't fight. And he says generally, but not absolutely. So basically, it sounds like he's saying that people will fight, but fight for stuff that doesn't matter. And then the people who actually care kind of just won't fight for anything. Videos just about me get more interest than war, economics, cultural revolution. That's why political channels make fake videos about me and more interesting than politics. Well, yeah, dude, politics is dry. Drama is dramatic. So you can't really be that surprised when people take the more interesting route. Now, obviously, it's a very interesting and important, the things that we talk about, the things that you talk about, but we already knew most people don't care about these things. So I'm not sure why that's surprising. I can definitely understand why it's frustrating, but not really why it's surprising. Goes on to say, hey, I'm not interested in drama, fame, or money. I'm interested in worldly affairs. That's why I used to travel around. But it seems most people either won't stand up or are only interested in drama. Yes, that is correct. Obviously, some people have started fighting back, running for office, making cultural content, and more. But the real energy isn't there. No one to defend us on our principles. Just people hiding from the fight when the drama psychos come out. And so that's, I hope I'm falling into that bucket of some people. With this show, I really, really try to bring you guys conversations that I think are important. And maybe because they are boring and they are not as exciting as drama and Twitter beef and all of this stuff, and inject some entertainment in it, because I believe in these worldly issues being important and that people are only going to take interest in what interests them. So if you're going to be talking about this stuff, it's your responsibility to make it interesting. If you are somebody who sees the value in all of this and everybody else doesn't, then it's your job to make it entertaining so that they do care. You can't make people any smarter. You can't make people any more moral, but you can present information that you think is important in a way that they can digest it. Going on, he says, people can reply in this thread saying I'm wrong or whatever, but that's exactly my point. A misalignment in our values. Beyond that, there are also other glaring obvious problems, such as people want to come on the show for fame, influence. People beg me for money, for retweets, for recognition. That's the power machine. Lots of people watch, so now people want to come on the show. It's reality. It's sad. Is it though? Why is that sad? That sounds like success to me. I would love if people were begging to come onto my show. I would love if people actually cared about what I had to say. Shout out to all 1,045 of you, I think, about this morning who actually do care what I have to say. And the fact is that when you have a show that big, that got that big because people do care about what you say, well, yeah, other people have things that they want to say too. And it makes sense that if you have that platform, that they would want to come and use it. So again, I understand the frustration, but I don't really understand the surprise here. And I don't really think that's sad. What's sad about that? People have things that they care about, and they want to share that with the world, just like you. Tim goes on to say, this has all grown way out of proportion to what I ever wanted to do, and I am no leader, no general. I think that's also fair. That's also fair because Tim doesn't want to be the leader of anything, then he doesn't have to be. But if you are the CEO of a company, then you are in fact a leader. And when you are the biggest show in a certain space, then you're a de facto thought leader. And so if you didn't want to be there, you have been talking about, going down by the river for years. You knew this is where this was going. So again, I'm just confused is this something that he's been thinking a long time? Is this something that just came into, and it almost feels like something specific happened, and this is kind of just a venting rant, because I highly doubt that in 4 hours, if the poll that he put up really does say yes, I highly doubt he's going to shut down the company. And all that's going to do is create more drama where you said, oh, you said you were going to shut down the company, and now everybody told you to shut down the company, and now you're not shutting down the company. What are you doing? So I don't, it's just striking me as very odd, because as much as Tim can blow up and be a hothead, when it comes to stuff like this, he's usually very calculated and very deliberate. So I'm, again, very confused. Goes on to say, and it just keeps growing. The expansion seems infinite, and it seems like a mistake. Again, Tim, all you ever talk about is come and sign up at timcast.com. We're doing this, we have that, we want to do shows, we want to do a coffee shop. Why are you expanding if you don't want to expand? So I talked about this repeatedly for the past year, especially with the threats and swatting and all of that stuff. He says it's the stalking that really gets me. Aha. So, man, that's, like I said, it seems like something happened. Maybe something happened and he is venting here, and the stalking, something happened. I don't know. Let's see. It says people crying, begging to be let in. I assume let in the house. Former employees centering their whole lives around me. It's crazy. For what reason? And this goes on. For what reason? The level of obsession some people have with me terrifies me, not because I fear for my safety, but because I worry about human priorities. I'm going to call cap on that, bro. I'm going to call cap, because you're definitely worried about your safety and the safety of the people around you. But if you're talking about the things that matter to you, and other people are becoming obsessed with you because of the things that you're talking about, then obviously that's messed up. People shouldn't be stalking you and getting obsessive and all that stuff. But it kind of seems like their priorities are in the right place. They either, even if they disagree and they're coming after you because they disagree with you, their priorities are the exact things that you're talking about. So yeah, I don't know there. Let's finish this up. He says, there are other people built for this type of life, but it ain't me. Obviously, I consistently break all the rules of PR. Yeah, that's definitely talking about all the Eliza Bleu stuff, where people were spamming his chat, Superchats, and asking him to talk about Eliza Bleu. And he was just like, look, I'm not going to talk about things just because you wave money in front of my face. This is my show. I talk about what I want to talk about. If you don't like it, you can leave. And that's always the attitude that he's had. And I appreciate that. I don't want somebody to be able to just drop $1,000 super chat and change the entire show. I like Tim Pool's opinions. I like Tim Pool's takes on things. I want to hear from Tim Pool. I want to hear from the people that Tim Pool bring into his studio. I don't want to hear from you in the chat, in the comments. I mean, sometimes there's good things, but if it's that good, then start your own channel, and then you'll be the one that I'm watching. I think the outburst he had with the last super chat, where he was just saying, whoever it was, he was saying, get out, take your money, I don't want you here, you should never. I think when he did that, he got a lot of backlash from people that didn't really understand the context, and because of that, we get this rant. He says, people simultaneously demand that I don't bow to the mob, but also I'm arrogant for not doing what the mob says. Well, yeah, can't have it both ways, guys. Says, in the last year, we've been swatted 15 times. We think it's related to stalkers of mine and former employees. We've had a few burglaries that, if I choose to prosecute, will result in collateral damage to my business properties and because of how the law works. Yeah, so obviously, if you're going to prosecute anything in court, it's going to cost money, it's going to cost time. He does how many videos a day? He does the show every single night, so he can't take that time off. And the money that he gets from all of this, well, I mean, I don't know how much of the money he puts into the business, but certainly a decent amount that he can't afford to take all this time off to prosecute. So that makes sense. Yeah, one person tried using burglarizing my studio to get James O'Keefe and Andy No's home address. Wow. Either we pay legal fees to block it or we drop the charges. It was a trick. The amount of back-end ish that goes on to make this machine work is a bit crazy, and it seems a bit too much for me. To what end, I ask? What is the end goal? What is the fight for? What is the fight for? Bro, what do you mean? You're the one who is warning us about impending civil war. What is the fight for? For our American values, for our American way of life, for our civilization. That's what the fight is for. What are you talking about? More rage bait, more fake news, more lying celebrities, more personalities saying what they think the mob wants them to hear, more politicians proposing nothing, trading stocks, shout out to Paul Pelosi, lying on the news, like AOC talking about the Boston Children's Hospital. Humans, am I right? How many years will Democrats propose reparations? How many years will we debate term limits? The cycle never seems to end. It just sucks up a new generation to debate them. The same ish that humans forgot they already debated. But here's the thing, Tim. You are of a new version of this. Because unlike the people before you, there was no easily accessible record of these debates. Before, when things were just on TV or on the radio and then they were gone, that was it. So the people who don't know, you often bring up about when Vosh was on the show and he had no idea about the 94 crime bill when you're talking about Biden. Well, that's not going to happen anymore because that show is still going to exist in 2025 and 2030 and 2035. So you are fixing this by doing what you're doing. And again, I want to stress that I do understand where this frustration is coming from, at least to a small extent. I can't put myself in his shoes. I've never been anywhere close to that famous or anything like that. But I understand what he is saying and the frustration he's expressing. But if obviously Tim's never going to see this, but if he does, Tim, the reason you are frustrated is because you are doing something right. You only have haters when you are doing something right. So again, what are we fighting for? We're fighting for people like you to be able to do what you do. I want to follow in your footsteps. So if you quit, what does that say to somebody, an up-and-comer like me? That, as much as I love talking about this stuff, as much as I feel it is very, very important for us to have these discussions, eventually it's just going to be like, so I shouldn't even try. Is that what you're telling me? I don't think so, man. So yeah, he says, and at a certain point, I just stop and say, I've talked about this 73 times already, WTF, but I'm over it now. But exactly, Tim, exactly. If you're growing, right, and you've talked about something 72 times, and then more people come to your platform, they probably haven't heard that the first 72 times you've said it. How many thousands and thousands of subscribers do you get on a daily basis? They don't know what you've said before. And so the good fight is to continue to say it a 73rd time, a 74th time, 100th time, a millionth time until it actually sticks. Or you can get over it and not do it. But you can't have both. It's on your show. I heard you cannot comply your way out of tyranny, and I say it all the time. Is that what you're doing? I think this is the last one here. Yeah, he says, I look forward to being some old man. The kids are yelling, old man Paul once bought a billboard in Times Square. Yeah, that's, if you don't remember, him and Jeremy Boring put up a billboard in Times Square saying, Taylor Lorenz ducks libs of TikTok. I mean, there's been others, but that was the funniest one. And then I yelled to the kids, get off my property, you damn kids. So I don't know, guys. Tim is not in a good place. What do you think? Do you think he's going to actually shut down the entire operation in 4 hours if the poll actually comes out that people are saying no? I don't think he is. I didn't think he was. But what do you think is going on with him? How seriously do you take this? And what do you want to happen? What do you guys think? Is he really going to shut down everything if the poll goes that way? Let me know in the comments below, or let's just talk about it live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here, the Indian Jesus Live. Thank you so much for partying with me, guys. Once again, I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.